Well, hello everyone. It's Kari back again with you today to share 4 cards using this new Panda Get Well stamp set. Look how cute these little guys are. There's lots of different ones you can use, and they're not just for Get Well. There's one that is just hanging onto a branch there. There's one that's given a big hug. So today I'm going to make one with you and share a bunch of other ideas for using this stamp set. So I already have an idea in mind of what I want to do, and I've cut out the Polaroid die set. It's a slimline die, so it cuts out 3 Polaroids at one time, which is awesome. I'm going to be using 2 of them today on this card. And to start out, I'm just going to ink up the backgrounds of each of those Polaroid cutouts, because this is going to be the background for each of those pandas. I'm using Distress Oxide inks, and I'm making sure that I ink them the way that they fit into the Polaroid, because there are 2 different orientations, and believe me, because I did one of them incorrectly and I had to redo it so that the blend of the oxide inks was correct. So just make sure that it fits in before you do your background so you know which way that it goes. And I like to use some tape to help hold that so I don't get my fingerprints all over the oxide inks. And so this is just an easy way. So I've got 3 different colors here: Uncharted Mariner, Salvaged Patina, and Twisted Citron. And it creates such a beautiful color blend for the background. So now that I have these, I'm going to set those aside to dry for just a minute while I work on the rest. I have this embossing folder from Whimsy Stamps, and it's a really cool look, and I think it goes with the theme really well. So I'm going to emboss it twice, once on the bottom portion, and then I'm going to move it down and emboss the top. And you can see there's a little bit of a break in that, but you really aren't going to be able to tell once I put in all the elements on this card. So you can extend your embossing folders to cover your entire A2 background if you want to. I think that's really cool. And now I'm just going to take some gray ink. This is a dark gray ink, and I'm going to ink over the design of that embossing folder just to give it some color, or a little bit of gray actually. This is just a nod to the Panda colors of black and white, so I thought it would be fun to do. At first I started just pressing really lightly, but then I found that it worked really well to press just a little bit harder, and it got all that ink on there, and I think it looks really cool, and it's fun with that embossed texture as well. So now it's time to stamp on the sentiments onto that Polaroid. So this one says, "You might need a Band-Aid," which is a really cute sentiment. And then on this other one that's going to be on the right hand side, I'm moving it a little to the right. You can see that it's not centered on that Polaroid. It's a little to the right because these are going to overlap just a little bit. And so I wanted to make sure that you could read the entire sentiment. So this one is just a little bit to the right, and it says "Get Well Soon." And I'm using that same dark gray ink to match the background so that we've got a little bit of continuity there. So there we go. Now I colored up the pandas off screen. I just added a little bit of dark grays and mostly grays. I think neutral grays is what I used. And then some tan colors for the Band-Aid and for the little wrap and the crutches for that one little panda on the right. He's so cute. Now I'll add that embossed background to my card base. So I'll glue that right on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and tape the background of the Polaroid to the Polaroid frame itself. That way I can pop these up really easily and they will be connected and not show any of the lines in between. So I'm just using regular clear tape to do this. And I'll tape both of those up, and that way they'll be much easier to add. So I'm just kind of testing them out here, making sure I can get them in the right places, and that looks pretty good right about there. So I'm just going to use some liquid adhesive to add those to that embossed background. I like to add a little extra adhesive when there is some embossing on the background because it's textured. So parts of it are going to stick, and I just want to make sure that that stays on really well. So I'll use an acrylic block to put over the top. And now for these cute little pandas, I'm going to put them on with some foam tape. So I'll add a little foam tape and then add those to those little Polaroid backgrounds. And that's going to be our first card with this set. How cute. With the little band-aid, the crutches. This is just a really cute set and very versatile. So I wanted to show you some other ideas with this set as well. Here's a close-up of that card we made together. I like his little facial expressions too. There's the Polaroid die that I used. And as I say, it cuts out 3 at a time. So it's really fast and easy to make this. And then here's a few more card examples. So after I made this Get Well card, I thought I wanted some variety. So here's the next card. This one uses the Get Well Soon and the little panda on the pillow with some Kleenex. I just did an ink blended background and added some paint splatters. This uses this new die that is the Comic Speech Bubbles die set, and put the panda right over the top of the speech bubble part, and then the Get Well Soon die for the background in black and white, of course, so it matches, and then a little purple heart. And then this guy I thought was just begging for a little hug. So I used the Big Hugs die set with this one, and the Sending You Bear Hugs was perfect for this sentiment, and I just stamped that with the same color as the background, using kind of a rainbow background. And then the notched rectangle frame dies for that. I will link everything below, by the way, so if you want to check it out. But that Big Hugs with the panda, I think, goes really, really well. The last card I want to share is this one here with that little guy hanging on to the branch, just barely hanging on. It says, "Good grief, barely hanging on." And so for this one, I used the Jungle Frames die. I think this one's so perfect for this little guy that's hanging on the bamboo. It's got the leaves, it's got the jungly frame there, and I colored them up in greens to match. I also used this Good Grief die, word die with the shadow. And in the background, I used some mixed media paste through the Harlequin stencil. I added just a tiny bit of blue tint to that when I mixed it up and added that in, and then a few pearls just to finish it off. So that's the last card. I think they all turned out really fun. This panda set is awesome and really cute. Fun to use, fun to create with. I hope you enjoyed all of these cards today. I really enjoyed making all of them. I think this may be one of my favorites so far with pandas. So anyway, I've linked everything below. If you're interested, don't forget to check them out and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. And I'll be back real soon with some more card making inspiration. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And happy crafting. Bye-bye.